Hi, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Michelle. Today I'm going to make for you one of my signature dishes, 6 garlic bulb chicken. It comes from my new cookbook called Dolce Vita USA. This is my new cookbook, which will be available online at www.dolcevitausa.net. There will be 2 versions of the cookbook. One will be a PDF file and the other will be available for a Kindle or a Nook. The cost of the book is $5.99. There are over 100 recipes in the cookbook. They vary from stuffed mushrooms, arugula and fig salad, pasta, spaghetti, entrees, how to make gummy bears, many drinks such as champagne punch, Italian cream. Also, you will be able to make wine if you're interested. So today I'd like to get started with making 6 bulb garlic chicken. So what we have here first is we have fresh chicken that's been rinsed through with water, and the cavity of the chicken has been cleaned out. There's a liver and a gizzard, and sometimes there's a neck in there, and I like the organs of a chicken, so I'm going to leave that in the large roasting pan when we bake it. Now there's several ingredients to this dish. Let me show you first what you're going to need. You're going to need 6 bulbs of garlic. Now I know that's a lot of garlic, but there's many benefits to garlic. Did you know that it's rich in vitamin C and B6? Taken daily, it also can help reduce many risks of cancer. It's good for many other disease-fighting diseases. We also have a large orange, a lemon, and a yellow onion. Now, if you're not a big fan of garlic, you can reduce that 6 bulb down to 3, but the recipe is really for garlic lovers. The next ingredients that you'll need is several kinds of herbs. Now, the good thing is, for the majority of the time, you can find these herbs either in your garden if you grow them like I do, or you can find them in the farmer's market. But since it is the middle of October, I had to purchase these from the grocery store. Now these are available in the produce section, in a hanging area of the produce section. I have basil, I have rosemary, and then I have a poultry blend which consists of thyme, sage, and rosemary. These will cost around $3, and they usually last in your refrigerator for up to a week. But as I said, during the summer, these are available at the farmer's market for about $1, and you get a large bunch of herbs. So we're also going to use some Pinot Grigio, which is one of my favorite wines. Any white wine will do, but since this cookbook is mostly Italian-oriented dishes, I choose a Pinot Grigio. We're going to use a cup, and this will cook out once the chicken is cooked, but we're going to start with a cup. And it's always nice if you're cooking this, you can pour yourself a little glass. Next, the main ingredient besides the chicken, of course, is the garlic. Now, I've already cut up the garlic in advance and taken the cloves out, and as you can see, these are whole cloves, and these are part of the garlic bulb. So I have whole cloves, then I also have coarsely chopped garlic. So you want to have both. And it's good to do actually your garlic in advance, because as the garlic sets a day or 2 before you're going to use it, the healing benefits and the active ingredients that make the garlic healthy for you come out as they sit, because they will change once the garlic is cooked at temperature. You will also need 1 orange peeled and then sectioned off. So I've done this in advance too. The lemon, you're just going to cut in half and cut into chunks of pieces, because we're going to stuff the lemon in the cavity of the chicken, and we're also going to use some lemon as garnish. The other ingredients, of course, are the onions. Now this is kind of a hearty Tuscan Italian dish, so I keep the onions, the majority of them are cut and then sliced in kind of thick slivers. But I also keep some that are reserved more for the chunky chop style because that will be in the sauce of the chicken. So that's the main ingredients, and then to season the chicken we're going to use a little rosemary garlic flavoring, a little pepper, a little salt, and a little smoked paprika. The other ingredient we're going to use today is butter. Lots of butter, a whole stick. It's 100% unsalted butter. So with that said, let's get started and make our first dish today. So we have the chicken, and what I like to do first is I want to stuff the cavity of the chicken. As I said, I've already cleaned it out, so it's nice and clean. It's all the insides have been removed. So, and as you can see, it's a fairly large cavity. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to take a little of everything. I'm going to take some cloves, throw them in there, and it doesn't matter what order you put the ingredients in the chicken. It's just a matter of you want a little of everything inside. The lemon, some onion, and I like to use the chunky onion to stuff. And I just keep stuffing and stuffing. Then I like to use the whole stick of the rosemary. As I said, this is a kind of a Tuscan, good for you, good feel chicken, and we're not going to worry about being real precise. We're just going to stuff it with these nummy herbs. Sage, and we'll just keep stuffing. And then what I do is I kind of go back and I put a little bit more garlic in, a couple more onions, a couple more oranges, a couple more lemons. It's pretty stuffed for now. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse my hands, because whenever you're working with chicken, it's really important to keep your hands clean and not contaminate anything. So what I like to do with this chicken is I like to take some of the skin, and I'm going to try to show you how I do this, and lift it up from the actual flesh of the chicken, because I'm going to stuff within inside the skin, or under the skin I should say. So if you can see what I'm doing, I'm taking a sharp knife, I'm lifting the skin from the flesh of the chicken, and I'm just lifting it up, trying to create a pocket so I can stuff the inside. And I'm going to do it at the back end too. And like I said, this is just about having fun when you're cooking. It doesn't have to be perfect. I like to cook for friends, I like to cook for family. I mostly like to cook for people who appreciate good food and appreciate the finer things in life, the dolce things, good wine, good traveling. That's what this cookbook is about. So as you can see, I've got a nice portion of the skin lifted up. So with that, I'm going to take some whole garlic, because this is the main ingredient. I'm going to stuff it inside the skin. And as the chicken bakes, the garlic will seep into the skin of the flesh and give it a really rich taste. Then this is why I keep the garlic whole. Then I'm going to go on the back side and I'm going to stuff some more. And keep stuffing. And I also have my oven already turned on to 375. It's going to bake for about an hour and 10 minutes. And then what I like to do at the very end for about 5 minutes is turn the broil on and crisp up the chicken, because as it's cooking also, I'm going to be opening the oven and making sure that I'm putting the juices, ladling the juices on the top of the chicken so it stays really moist and really juicy throughout the whole process of cooking. So now you see that the chicken is pretty lumpy. It's filled with a lot of garlic, and that's going to taste really great. I've got maybe one more gulp or clove stuff. rinse my hands or wash my hands. Then I'm going to take a cold stick of butter and I'm going to slice it, and you want to keep the butter cold in the refrigerator until you're ready to do this, otherwise the butter won't cut in nice chunks, it'll be all mushy. So I'm going to cut it in all the way across. This is not a low-calorie dish, I'm not going to lie to you, but I'll tell you what, it's a pretty good dish to serve for company. It's a pretty good dish to take, to press, to make for yourself. It's a hearty dish. I'm going to serve it with some sage, or roasted potatoes, I should say, in a truffle oil with a little Parmesan cheese. So now my chicken is really stuffed. It has garlic and butter. Then inside the cavity, I want to stick a little bit more butter. Actually, I haven't put the butter in yet, so I'm going to stick these last 2 pieces of butter in the cavity of the chicken. And I see I've got a few little oranges left, so I'll stick them in. Now, I'm going to rinse my hands. Like I said, now my hands are filled with chicken and butter, so they're a little, they need to be cleaned. Now the next step is really easy. You're going to look at the rest of your ingredients, and you're just going to toss in. So all this other garlic, I'm just going to toss in the roasting pan. And equal sides, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to take the chopped onions and I'm going to throw them in, same thing, doesn't matter. The great thing about this sauce is after it's done and you've got leftovers, this makes the best chicken soup to die for. Then I'm going to take some of the onions, I'm going to leave a couple onions out for garnish at the end. Then I'm going to take my white wine and I'm just going to pour it on the chicken, no special way. And I like a lot of onions, so I want all these onions to bake because they're also going to go up with the chicken really nicely. And so I'm going to throw those in. And as you can see, my pan is definitely filling up. Then I'm going to take some rosemary, and I think for this I'll actually take it off the stem. Pull some of these off. And we'll leave some rosemary out also for garnish at the end. It makes a nice little garnish. So as you can see, this dish is super easy. It's not taking me very long. And you know, you can do this in advance to your company coming. And then while it's cooking, you can serve your appetizers, you can serve your drinks, you can just relax with your company. Now this is thyme. I want to show you how you take the little leaves off. You just basically hold it at the top, run your fingers down, and voila, it comes right off. So we'll do it again. And you could just put the whole stem in there. It really doesn't matter, but I think I want to just make sure the leaves come off like this. I think they look kind of nice sprinkled on anyway. Okay, so we're done with our herbs. Now we're going to throw a little seasoning on top. We're going to put some salt. I guess it might help to open the container. So here goes some salt. Yep, it's coming out. Sometimes it's hard to see. Then we're going to do some crushed pepper because everybody likes pepper. And pepper just adds to any dish, I think. And then I have, now this, honestly, you can buy any kind of brand, some sort of rosemary, garlic, dried mixture. I just think it adds a lot of color, and it's going to add to the sauce with the butter and the wine, and it's really going to be quite yummy. I'll tell you a funny story about this dish. Is I made this once, maybe several years ago, and the person I made it for loved the dish so much. I didn't want to brush his teeth for a day or so he could keep the flavor in his mouth. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Fortunately, I haven't met anyone else that's done that since. So, now we're going to pop this in the oven for 1 hour and 10 minutes at 375, and I'll be right back and we'll start the potatoes.